Channel Fear Zone, your channel of terror. This story was translated into English from my channel, Zona do Medo Brasileiro. Now, let's go to today's account, which is from Mr. Cassio, and this happened to him near the city of Batatais, which is in the state of Sao Paulo, and at that time it was in 2003, Mr. Cassio was 41 years old. And everything, it starts like this: I'm the trucker to this day, and I really like my profession, but what happened to me one night, years ago, I was very afraid that I will never forget in my life. For on one of these trips, in which I was doing with my truck in the late hours of the night, which was to carry a load of vegetables in the city of Limeira, I prowled by a lane, and until I looked through the rear view mirror of my truck and saw one of the ropes of the body loose and untied, I was worried about this problem because the boxes I carried in my transport could fall at any time, and that would be a disaster. With this happening, I stopped my truck in the shoulder of the track, and so I got out of my vehicle, and I stood by the ground next to the track. Over there, you could see well, because of some light pole of this place, but on the other side, there was a closed forest, where you could see almost nothing, because by this vegetation it was very dark. Well, I went walking to the truck's body. I picked up the rope that was loose, and sure enough, it had been some transport company employee who tied the wrong ropes to the body of my truck. And what I did is that I started tying the ropes again, and when I was almost finished doing that, I was surprised, because I looked back quickly, and I saw a kind of beast running on 4 legs about 30 meters ahead, and he was coming towards me. I was afraid because it seemed to be a dangerous and huge animal. But as it got closer to me, I noticed something strange, because this beast had a kind of yellow, scary light in its eyes. Not to run any more risk of being attacked by this animal, I climbed fast in the body of my truck, while I would not give time to run to the cabin to protect me from this creature. But as soon as I could get up in the back of the vehicle, and I saw that animal hid under my truck, and this animal kept making a tired noise, and that was pretty scary. I looked down from the body all the time to see if the animal came out of there, but nothing happened, and I still heard its noises under my vehicle. I decided to walk around the back of my truck, but I unintentionally dropped a box of vegetables, and with the noise, I looked again, and that beast put his head out, right there near the front wheel. He almost came out from under the truck. With this I was in shock, because it was a creature unlike anything I've ever seen, and this animal was very much like a monkey, but the ears and snout were the same as a dog, and by my luck this animal was still under my vehicle. However, I realized that by the noise that this animal made, he seemed really tired, and this strange animal kept looking all over the road and worried about something. For sure he was hiding in fear, and that he didn't even see me, and by the way this animal also didn't have the guts to cross the track, because it seemed that he wanted to pass by the road, and was afraid of getting hit, because he was still passing at that time some vehicles by that road at high speed. While this creature was hiding under my truck, I was on top of my vehicle, watching this creature, to see what he wanted, because with this animal around, I couldn't get out of the body and go to the cab of the truck. Suddenly, I began to see a figure walking on the edge of the forest, and I was hiding under the canvas of the body, which covered the boxes of vegetables, and that's when an animal came out of that dark thicket, and it was an animal just like the other animal that was hidden under my truck, and this being came running on 4 legs towards my vehicle. He began to attack the other beast, and I didn't believe what I saw, but I felt that I began to get in danger with these 2 creatures. But as I saw the 2 beasts wanting to fight, I noticed one strange thing. The other creature that came out of the bush, his eyes were not yellow, but red, blood-colored. What happened was that soon these two large animals began to fight a lot and were rolling on the ground, and one beast bit the other with great force and violence, and they were attacking each other by the construction site of the track, and until there came a moment in this fight that the two creatures left, and that was there that I had a surprise, for the two animals stood up and stood like a man, only on two legs, and what I already suspected, it was confirmed that those two beasts were werewolves. The creatures were surrounding each other, and they stared at each other, and ready for confrontation again. The red-eyed werewolf seemed to be the bravest. Then the werewolves started fighting again, and I saw their distraction. I took advantage and walked in disguise through the back of the body without making noise, and I went down to the ground and quickly ran, and I got to the cabin of my truck, and I went in there. At that moment I turned on my vehicle, and so I was slowly leaving that side of the road, but I looked out the window at those two animals. The werewolf of red eyes was on four paws and pulling and dragging with his mouth the other werewolf of the yellow eyes, who was already fainted and fallen to the ground, and the creature took the other to a forest that had one side of the track, and after that I no longer saw these two creatures. But for me, enough of the terror that I passed. Soon I got on the track with my truck. I took my way, and after I traveled for a few kilometers, I arrived at a gas station where I parked my vehicle to be able to rest. However, I did not sleep for the rest of this dawn. I stood there in the cab of the truck, just thinking what I had just seen in front of me on that road. And out of fear, I just got out of the truck when it started to dawn the day. When he arrived in the morning, then I went into the gas station cafeteria to eat a bread and butter and have a coffee with milk while I made the meal of my breakfast. The lookout who worked at this station arrived at the bakery and began to talk that he saw some firefighters in a nearby lane from where he took the bus to come to work, and this man said he saw such a wanderer who had appeared in this region a few weeks ago, and that it was this wanderer that the firefighters were attending, because he seemed already almost dead, said the watchman. And to my surprise, the watchman also said that this wanderer had not been hit by any vehicle on the track, and that this man was attacked by some ferocious animal by dawn on the road, because the marks that remained on this man was bites and scratches of claws, which were very serious injuries. The fact is that I heard this, nor did I want to give my opinion, not to have to get involved in this story, for I was not absolutely sure that this wanderer who appeared dying near the road is who turned the werewolf, or he may have had the misfortune to have found one of these creatures as well. After that, I took my truck and I got on the road and I started driving to deliver the load of vegetables to a nearby town, and when I finished this service, I went back to my town. Well, it's been a few years, and I've started watching a lot of videos related to werewolves on social media, and from the accounts of a lot of people, I've found that these creatures, when they have red eyes, are the alpha werewolves, which are stronger than the yellow-eyed werewolves. And the other version is that werewolves with red eyes are already born with genetics to be werewolves, and werewolves with yellow eyes is that they were normal people who were attacked by a werewolf and ended up being cursed. But other than that, I still work in this trucker profession to this day because I like it very much, but in this whole account, I only know one thing, which I never stop my truck on the side of the road at night, because I know that these werewolves also live on these roads, and I do not want to face these creatures again, because I may end up like that man who was almost torn apart on the road. Good night. Good guys, thanks for watching the video, and if you liked the story, one like and also subscribe to the channel to receive new videos every week. Until the next.